here we are, we're winding down 23, and there's all sorts of predictions. People are making, and hey, by the way, if you really want to know where to get the best predictions, it'd be right here in-house. The Simple Podcast, I'm going to continue to scream out my predictions. Now, by the way, which is kind of funny, I just recently got one right. When instead of reporting it, we predicted, of course, Bank of Canada. That was a no-brainer, Dave. Saying the Bank of Canada was going to hold pat. I don't think they really had a choice, but you know what? In your case, I would say that now we have to start looking into 24 and what's going to happen.
You're off the heels of a 4% total increase in 2022. Another increase in January, as you allude to. Hit the pause button in the March meeting and then the April meeting. March and then April. And then we get the increase. But let's go back. Tim, Todd, we remember what was happening in the spring this year. Off those two pauses, we actually saw what I thought was a pretty interesting spike in leads, applications, activity, and then, of course, the June, July, those increases seemed to suck the wind out of the sails. But if we are going into now this year, not on a December increase, not on a January increase, not on now a pause, it's if we maintain this pause, and then, and we talked about it before the show, if we start hearing of dovish talk by the Bank of Canada going into maybe the March meeting, Todd, our bet may end up, you may win the bet if there's an April reduction.
Let's share the bet. And by the way, I'm definitely gonna post it on our Simple Podcast, and I'm gonna have my participants in it. So here is what the bet is. So Dave and I are both of the opinion that in 2024, and it's a kind of a no-brainer at this point. It's an afterthought, but that interest rates will start coming down. There's really no choice in this. So what we decided to do is we throw a bet when, and I had said, look, I believe, and this was even, I think several months ago.
Yeah, fall.
Several months ago, I said, I believe April, May, we will see at least a 1/4 point reduction. You then countered and said, well, you know what? I think it's going to be June or July. So being tequila drinkers, we decided that we may as well push the envelope and say, look, let's make it Grand Patron, which for people that are like tequila, it's a nice bottle. And the idea here is that, Dave brings one over here to the studio, and if not, I got to have it waiting for him if he's right. So now I know Tim did get in on the action.
I'm the real winner here.
Yeah, because he gets a shot either way, right?
Exactly.
But
absolutely.
But the truth is, so Tim was actually kind of in my court. He did throw out, hey, April. He believes April, May. Look, it's 2 against 1.
April, May.
You guys are very confident in Tiff making the right decision, and I applaud you for that. I just simply think he's going to make the wrong decision. He's going to wait too long. And then I end up getting a nice free bottle of tequila.
See, well, with a few shots short.
Couple shots.
Yeah. But you see, and it's a valid assessment because of what the Bank of Canada has done in the past, right? And we all know, looking into history, we're kind of hoping that, obviously, we take the glow stick and we shake it a little bit more than usual just to get the light on, right? Because that's what we need. We need right now, and I think coming into January, I think if there's one thing that we can scream out to all the major banks, that have influence on this, all the economists, I think what you have to do now is shed the true light on the numbers. As Tim had mentioned, he said, look, they overshot. They're agreeing they overshot, but take a look at actually the repercussion of the overshot. Like look at this has been, obviously devastating for so many. Tim, I need your take on the spring of 2023, because I'll tell you, you were about 6 inches taller walking in here then.
Oh boy, I sure was. But listen, once you have that type of policy / announcement change back to back, everything that they said they wouldn't do, they did. And, nobody in this room, and I don't think anybody listening actually predicted that they would actually, raise rates that quickly and, be on this mission to really put a complete halt on the marketplace, right? So where we are right now, from the spring coming forward, is we hit that critical breaking point where once you look at the current rate plus the stress test, it gets to the point where, yeah, this is where we've teetered to the other side, where with the complaints of groceries being too expensive, gas being too expensive, carbon tax, whatever, the discussion is that's going on right now, people just can't fit housing. And the point of entry is just too difficult, right? I mean, you're seeing it. I'm sure you are, Dave. You're seeing it a lot. So now as we've entered the summer market post-spring, all those are the repercussions, right, of what happened in the months prior. Nobody predicted that we would have this type of slowdown, that we reported in the months that followed after that. But it's just a reflection of what happened with the interest rates.
So, Tim, I'm going to ask you to predict the number of sales in the GTA for 2023.
So I want to start off by saying that, not a disclaimer. I'm going to start by saying that we're going to end up this year with the least amount of sales since about 2001 or 2. And at that time, there were 17 or 18,000 realtors, and there's over 70,000 realtors today.
Yep.
I just want to paint a picture of where we are.
Hang on. Sorry. No. Okay, you just went offside there. Because here's the thing. In my opinion, being a realtor back then,
yes,
there was realtors doing more deals. The problem is you've got so many realtors out there that aren't doing deals. So
let's forget about that. Let's forget about the realtors, but I'm just giving the example of where, what the landscape was of the actual business, right? So we're going to probably fall somewhere around 70,000, 71,000 sales, which is about 9,000 less than what I predicted a year ago this time. Right. And I just want to put it out there because I was looking at, what I was seeing in the economy, in the market going from January forward in the spring. Then obviously I had to readjust come May.
You're still close though. That
right?
that 80 still would have put us at one of the worst years since 2001 anyway. So you're still in the ballpark.
There's no question about it, right? But I think that there's going to be other things that are going to have a play in the market in 2024, and that is the resignation of our prime minister. So I'm going to
getting that lucky.
Okay.
I'm going to say that there's the opinion of what's going on right now, and what's happening right now is there's going to be some type of shakeup at the federal level. So that is playing into an earlier election possibly. So we're going to see a lot of different things that are going to happen, I think, 2024 that are going to shake things up. And that's my prediction.
That's a bomber.
Wow, that's huge. Yeah, could you imagine?
I don't think he's going to, I really humbly, this is not a political stance of being a liberal, a conservative, or NDP. Yep. This is just the mood, the sentiment. This is just, I believe the own party does not believe he'll get him through a next win, right? So with that, whether it's a graceful one, whether it's self-imposed, whether it's, planned out, I believe it will be planned out properly. I just think that we're looking at 2024 having a different leader of the Liberal Party.
Hey, so if we get interest rates down and Trudeau steps down, I mean, can we not then kind of say 2024 is already a big win?
Well, that's a whole different conversation, I think. But that's where I'm going with it. And I'm in the camp of April, May being the turning point, right? I believe that Macklin, the Bank of Canada is going to continue to use strong language.
Yep.
But at some point, when you're seeing the extensions of amortizations, when you're seeing, where the numbers are overall, you're going to see a change in the mood, and people are going to start coming back into the market.